Hi, and welcome back to Northeast Corner. We've got a live guest, our own Logan Gordon. He's coming in to help us talk about the Northeast Corner and our food. So, Logan, welcome to the studio. We're going to start off just getting to know you a bit. So, where is it you actually work at the moment?
I currently am the lead chef at Gordonson International School. We roughly cook for about 500 pupils.
Is that just at the moment with restrictions, or could it be more?
It's normally more, yes. And about 100 staff every day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
No, I must have. I've got it in a jet and say already. I actually work alongside this lovely man, this lovely lead chef, so I actually get to witness what these people do day in and day out.
The fitness.
There are times I come in the morning, you know, I'm supposed to be one of the first people in the kitchen, and these buggers are already there.
Every day.
That is the life of a chef.
So, yeah, I mean, how long have you been at Gordonston for?
I was last year, March the 10th or something like that, I moved to Gordonston, and then 2 weeks later, we were in lockdown. So we were on furlough for however long it was, like four months, 5 months, whatever. So I've been there for a year and a half now.
Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah. Learning curve, or?
It's totally different to what I was doing before.
That's what I was kind of thinking, yeah.
But I worked at Gordonston before as well, so this isn't my first time working at Gordonston. So
not your first rodeo.
So I mean, I've been. So obviously, when you're there, obviously getting the lead chef job. I mean, did you have to go through any training? I mean, did Gordonston do it, or is it all like on the job training? Or
so that was one of the main things, because I didn't have any managerial skills per se. They put you through a course, and because of COVID, you literally do it over the phone. You just have to tell them what you do on a day-to-day basis, and then you've got to send them photos, or
it's like proof, like a portfolio of what you're doing.
Yeah. So it's just a wee portfolio. There's 3 different units that you have to do, and then 4 that you can choose from. So and there's no time limit on how long you have to do it.
And I mean, like from being in the kitchen myself, it can be relaxed. I'm going to be very cautious on how I say this. So it can seem like a very relaxed atmosphere, but I have a feeling that's mostly to do with the team that is in there. Like the team of chefs you have, you all do seem to pull together, and they all listen to you, which is a wonderful thing. Obviously, everyone has their good days and bad days. Good old Logie Bear, unfortunately, has to raise a couple octanes. But that is a very rare occasion. When Logan raises a couple octanes, everyone's like, what's actually going on? You're very calm under pressure, aren't you?
Most of the time, yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Especially with all the prep.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing I wanted to mention was the functions you do at Gordonston as well. Because they're not a small function, and you get a little bit of prep time as such. You're told about that you're going to do a function. And then it's like a couple of weeks beforehand. It's like, right, guys, we need to plan out a meal for thousands of people, 3 courses, and loads of little side areas where people can wander up to and eat. Like, I think the last one I seen was the chocolate popcorn fountain out of nowhere.
Surprise!
So that was the Lever's Ball.
Yeah, that's
you were obviously working there. The starters were a canopy station. A tapas station. There was a sushi station, and there was 1,600 bits of sushi.
I've never actually made sushi from scratch myself, but once you get rolling,
you see what you did.
It's good. So there was sushi, there was tapas, and kebab station as a starter. Then they had their sit-down meal as a main, and then they were all blutered by this point, so they just wanted food. And then there was a sweet station after that, 2 different sweet stations with everything you can think of as a sweet. And then after that, they pulled out the chocolate fountain and the popcorn machine, candy floss machine or whatever. So it was a big function.
It's a very big function.
It was totally different from what we've done before. So I think I've kind of put my stamp on.
Well, definitely. You made a night which was made quite difficult due to things which are outside your control. You know, you've got the difficulties of the COVID restrictions. You've got the difficulties of... Well, exactly. You've got the difficulties of not a lot of people really understood what was happening. although people are separated out into the team, the only people who really knew what was happening with the chefs, they knew what they needed and they knew when they needed it.
I wish I worked somewhere like that.
Unfortunately, that information wasn't quite getting to us at the bottom. But I mean, what made you get into like chefing as a start or cooking in general? What was your like initial kind of spark or liking for it? I mean, do you have like a first memory which made you think, oh, I could do this? Or
my mum.
Was it your mum? Was it?
Well, I think it's got to be my mum. And it's kind of, a lot of chefs kind of fall into it, which I kind of did fall into it because we'll maybe get onto that a bit later. But I worked there before. I worked at my first place before the Bothy, and quite enjoyed it. Found another job, didn't enjoy it, went back, and they needed a chef, so I ended up doing that.
So you kind of just walked into the position?
Yeah.
So that's not bad.
But my mum is a great cook.
Yeah, a lot of inspiration from her.
And a great baker, so like...
That's two pretty good skills there. Baking is one thing, you know, that's a whole other skill set.
She's amazing, like...
Oh, that's good. That's brilliant. So obviously that kind of nails out a few of my other questions. I was going to say, was it through choice or situation? It kind of seems a bit through both, really. You chose to go back there, and the situation was they needed a chef, and you needed a job. So obviously you were saying that your mum's quite an inspirational figurehead for you and your cooking. What other inspirations do you get? I mean, is it just from your mum? I mean, do you get it from like magazines, from cooking shows? Or is it from, because you do quite a lot of foraging. I mean, do you ever get inspiration from foraging?
Well, I like foraging, but I'm not very confident with things because
sometimes you don't know.
You can never be too confident when it comes to foraging.
Oh, no,
but there's a few things that I'll pick and I just stick to that.
What was the one you made me eat?
Garlic, was it mustard garlic? Garlic mustard.
Yeah, the flower one, the leaf.
Yeah.
Oh,
shaped like a ace of spades.
That's the exact one.
I've seen.
So during our we went for a little break, didn't we? 'Cause it was quite quiet in the kitchen. It was really, really hot. So we thought, we're all prepped, we're caught up. There's only like 5 of us in here. Go for a wee walk, and walking around with Logan, like I say, he knows a little bit about foraging. He just starts picking all this stuff. He goes, here, John, eat this. And I'm sat there, I'm stood there, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, are you taking the mick? It's like, full on, like, I don't know. He's like, just trust it. I was like, nothing bad's going to happen. I'm like, right, okay. And do you know what? I was sitting there, I was like, I can actually see what you mean. I didn't swallow it because I was like, I'll get the taste. No, I'll get
It's an unusual one. It is.
Yeah.
And a lot of things you forage, I feel like, taste like grass. But you can't
well, it's just the dirt, isn't it?
That's where it lives, in the grass.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously that's just from like foraging. What other inspiration, or where else do you get inspiration from?
The TV.
A lot from
Instagram.
TV.
Social media.
Yeah.
Books.
How do you
keep cookbooks?
Yeah. Who's your favourite?
My favourite chef?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can say it anymore.
Why?
There's been bad things coming out about him.
Just say me.
There's a difference about their profession and what they are as a person. If you can respect them enough for their profession, then
probably Sat Baines would have been up there. Probably not anymore. Who else? What's his name? I can't remember his name. He has the kitchen, not the kitchen. He has the fish kitchen. In Cornwall. I can't remember his name.
I know.
You've caught me off guard.
Caught you off guard. Well, that's all right. Is it mainly with him because it's fish dishes that you kind of, because that's quite a big dish for us up here.
It's quite amazing because he used to have a star.
All right.
And then you obviously have to cook to what the Michelin guide want you to do. Yeah, because there's a difference between stars, isn't there? You get the Michelin star and you get this Michelin
Rosetta.
AA.
Is that a Rosetta star?
The AA Rosetta. So he had a star, and he didn't want to cook. He wanted to cook the way he wanted to do it, not the way that the Michelin guide wanted him to. Yeah. So he just done his own thing, lost his star, and I like that.
Respect, man.
Yeah,
respect for
you're
that.
doing your own cooking. This is my cooking, not the masses. This is mine. Well, that's it. I mean, if you own your own restaurant, you want to make it yours, don't you? You want to have your stamp on the food. Otherwise, it's just generic food. That's the way I look at it.
Pauline's. No, Pauline's.
I've heard of,
Amazing.
Yeah.
Just Instagram.
Phenomenal.
Instagram, am I allowed to mention?
Yeah.
I like a wee bit of Nigel on there.
I'd love a boozy off of her.
Oh, yes. And other habits are
So when you're obviously like looking for your inspiration, how do you get this inspiration across in your food? Because obviously when you see something, I mean, I'll break it down a little bit better. So when you're wanting your inspiration to come across in your food, is it a lot of how you are styling it on the plate? Because it's quite an art form. You get a lot of things where they're putting the sauces down, but they're doing it in patterns, or they're doing all the little added ones. I've seen you do it with tweezers, and you have little greenery bits and little edible flowers, and all that's kind of placed on. But it's a lot of colour. So I mean, it's a lot of art and colour that seem to go into this. I mean, how do you build that up? How do you start even thinking, I'm going to do this dish, how am I going to make it pop out?
I think you eat with your eyes first, don't you?
Well, that's it. It's a lot of colours, isn't it?
As long as it's a good vibrant plate and
good
you're
smell.
like, oh, that looks awesome. Then you get the smell of it as well, and you're like, yes.
That's what I mean. It's like a fine art. It seems like you've got to balance it all right on the edge, right on the edge of a blade. You've got to get everything. You've got to get colour, smell, taste, presentation, all to a T. And like as we were saying, you've got to do it for the masses. You know, you've done it for a fair size of people as well.
Weddings and whatnot. And
I don't understand where your brain goes. How do you process it? You know?
You don't. You just do it.
it's just about
the inner chef takes over.
That's it. It's just
you don't even think about it. You just kind of
the brain just goes into different.
Is it just from skills? Maybe you reckon you have picked up from along the way, and you just kind of you know what you're comfortable with. Is it? Do you always have like Because I know sometimes when you want to create something, you got to be quite daring. Sometimes it's not things you've always cooked with, is it?
Always have a backup plan.
That's what I was going to ask. Thank you. You've
plan.
answered the question already. Or do most of you end up with a backup plan just in case everything goes skew-if?
And you can always cook some in aluminium if you need to.
Bit of al dente veg.
Or if you're feeling a bit fruity, you can always use the microwave.
Chef Mike.
That's it.
So I'll ask you now, Logan, about the industry itself. I mean, what are your thoughts on the industry and the food industry in general at the moment with everything that's been going on? Obviously, we've had COVID, we've had Brexit, we've had a lot of factors which are really limiting us getting certain resources that we want, or ingredients that we want, isn't it? It's getting quite difficult. I mean,
I think it's in an absolute mess right now. Like, I don't know if you have seen on social media, everywhere's looking for chefs. Everywhere's paying ridiculous price for chefs. I saw that there was a head chef job in Banff going for 55k. Oh, like
where in Banff?
I don't know if you know the Banff Springs Hotel.
Yes,
it's a pretty major. It's a major operation. Like, but 55k a year's.
That's just
a good amount.
That's crazy money. That
the agency. The chef agencies are screaming out for people even to work a few days. They've upped their prices, like they've upped their hourly rates.
18 odd quid.
Doing whatever they can just to try to attract in the work.
I think there's lots of things. Brexit is one of them. Everyone's getting more expensive.
It's coming in fewer amounts as well, and it's taking longer to get here.
For example, our chicken it works from the Netherlands or Belgium or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
You get them in the big black boxes.
Yeah.
And I think that's went up in price. Like,
everything's
went up in price. I mean, like
a few years ago, it was $9.98 for 5 kilos, and now I think it's a considerable, a bit
so
more.
It's 5 kilo boxes.
Yeah,
and you get 2 in a big box.
Yeah,
so I'm sure it's at least 25, if not 30 now.
Yeah. It's pretty much got up, but it's
that's
7-8 quid.
Wow, man, that's crazy.
Brexit, 100%. COVID,
in the bin.
100% has had an effect on it. But I also think it's had an effect on staff. They've seen that they can get a job where they can do it from home or like work Monday to Friday and not have to work
the whole
12,
idea
14,
of this comfortable life.
Shifts, have every weekend off, like, and get the same amount of money, if not more.
That's ridiculous.
So I think people have realised that they don't want to be standing over a stove 15 hours a day,
getting stressed,
getting paid absolute pennies. You know what I mean?
Tuppence is the word. Tuppence.
So I mean, where do you reckon the industry is going to be going? I mean, do you reckon if something doesn't drastically change soon, do you reckon it's all going to really go Pete Tong and we're going to be in a worse state, or do you reckon there might be a light at the end of the tunnel?
Absolutely no clue.
No clue at all.
as I said earlier on, I think people also have had enough of the abusive part of a kitchen. Like people don't want to put up with the shit anymore. Really, like I've seen it happen. I've seen things be thrown at people. I've seen like people get hurt. Like So like people have had enough of that, and people start to think, nah, like I'm better than that. Like
I don't deserve this kind of stuff.
As much as this person might have a Michelin star and it's great to work for them. Nah,
it's not worth getting bowled at every day.
So much better than is worth so much more than.
See, that's another thing why I think I quite like the kitchen that we are in Gordonstoun, because I mean, I've had a few bad days in there where I have a bit of a temper tantrum. I get a little bit stressy, shall we say?
John.
Yeah, but, you know, we all have it, and it's that moment where I'm a big one where I need to vent. It doesn't matter if this person really wants to hear it, or if they're going to stand there and let me do it. Brilliant, let me vent. I'm not aiming it at them. Sometimes I have to say that to people. We work with a lovely young chef, Daniel Walber. And bless his wee cotton socks, Daniel, right? Oh, he's in the same kitchen. Muscle Man Dan. Yeah. Shout out, Dan.
I went to school. I went to school with his older brother, William.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah, he was on our wasn't he? Yeah. But yeah, with Daniel, like for instance, he's such a nice guy. He wouldn't say boo to anyone, would he? He just wouldn't. He's that kind of guy. Genuinely, really nice guy. I've never seen him in a bad mood, but he's seen me in one. Yeah. Bless him. And I've vented, and it wasn't aimed at him, but I was venting to him, and he was doing the whole wide-eyed thing, like, it's like, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, that's not how I meant it.
It's quite a regular thing, the wide-eyed Daniel.
Deer caught in headlights quite a lot, bless him.
Cracking skater, if I remember correctly.
So I'm going to read off, this is from a basic Google search on the top 4 foods known in the northeast of Scotland, according to Google. So don't shoot me. So the first one that got listed was a Cambus O'May cheese from Ballater. Do you enjoy working or cooking with it? A lot of cheese?
Oh, I love it. Cheese is one of my favourite things ever.
What's your favourite one to work with? Because I mean, at the school,
to eat or to work with.
Well, we'll do both. We'll do both.
I really like Minger or Fat Cow. They're named, I think, I don't know if he's going to hear this, and I don't know if it's true, but I've heard that it's named after his ex-wife. And his ex-mother-in-law.
All right.
So,
fair enough.
Yeah. Minger's like a really soft, rind cheese. Like, you cut it and it almost melts.
Oh, right, okay.
It's amazing. Try and find it. Yeah. And Fat Cow is almost like a Gruyere cheese.
I despise
orange Gruyere cheese. Nah, try it.
I know. I've worked with it. It just honks. Yeah. Especially,
honestly.
Mind you, a steak Gruyere and red onion panini, winner.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
it smells.
To work with, blue cheese.
You like working with blue cheese?
Or
it's just easy, Stilton.
Blue cheese, or I had another one. I can't remember. Brie. Brie's nice and simple to use, like sandwiches, whatever. You know what I mean? Like
turkey and brie sandwiches.
Mozzarella, nice mozzarella, buffalo mozzarella,
proper mozzarella.
I never was a big fan of all this fancy cheeses until I started working there, and then since I'm obviously got a bit of an intolerance to certain things, obviously I have to eat all of these ones.
I'm the same. I'm lactose intolerant, so it's a bit of a.
You need a lacto-free.
A shite mare, if you know what I mean.
I need a gluten-free.
There's been a few times John's been like, "Oh, that looks amazing." I'm like, "It's got gluten in it." He's like, "That's fine.
I'll suffer away."
That's exactly what I say. It's normally the black pudding, John. It's fine.
Storing away black pudding.
I'll beat it.
So obviously number 2 that came up was Finnan Haddie. I've never heard of this dish before, but apparently it's a saltwater fish dish from the area of Findon. I've never heard of
this. I don't even think I've heard of Findon.
These are good starts. But anyway, so I mean, what's your favourite fish dish to work with and to eat? To cook and to eat.
My favourite fish would probably be scallops, which is really cliche. Well,
why is that? Is that to cook with or to eat?
Both.
All right.
Okay. I'll say just shellfish.
You're just.
I love shellfish to eat. I love to cook it.
Yeah.
But probably one of my favourite fish would be hake.
Hey, yeah, you have said that
meaty,
before.
like it's just a nice fish.
A thick fish.
A thick fish.
Just
Fish or monkfish.
Monkfish.
Love a monkfish.
Monkfish is quite an upmarket style of fish, though,
It
isn't
is
it?
now. They used to chuck it back.
As I say,
Or use it as scampi.
Yeah, I was just about to say they used to use it in.
Now, so there was the longestines for the scampi now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know langoustines get caught over here, sent to Thailand to get shelled, and then sent back here to get breaded?
That's it, yeah. I've seen it on the Fox's product of
Honestly.
Thailand, and it's ridiculous.
That's I talk about a bit of give and take.
Imagine the air miles if we're thinking about the economy here. It's
It's
like
going to be off by the time it gets here, man.
this one bit of scampi's taken 2 years off of our life.
That's it.
So the third one I got was I couldn't believe I actually found this one. It's actually a deep fried dessert, the deep fried Mars bar. Obviously, now the information I found was apparently originates in Stonehaven, or Stonehaven's best known for it. I'm not 100% on that where it originates from, but I do know that Scotland basically owns it.
If it's on the internet, it must be true.
Deep fried anything.
Yeah.
Not Maltesers, they don't work, or crunches.
Okay.
They just dissolve.
I've done a deep fried Freddo, but it was ones when they had the popping candy in it.
Oh,
That
how
was,
did that
that was a
go?
bit dangerous, that
I
one.
was gonna say,
So you take a bite, it's like,
What's the most
mess?
messed up thing you've seen deep fried?
Ice cream.
It's supposed to be quite good. I've never tried it.
It's really weird. You've got to be real fast with it. I've never done it
I'm just
myself.
trying to think of all the things that I've actually deep fried. Me and Ross Dick, we used to, at the beach, we used to, well, the wee fryer that always get turned on but never get used.
So you start using it basically.
Like, what can we deep fry in that? But I will tell you is amazing deep fried. Can the wee gold bars, the biscuits.
Oh, the McVitie Golds.
Oh yes, deep fried, amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, stay away from crunch. Anything honeycomb, stay away from deep frying.
A little bit dangerous.
They just dissolve.
Double decker is better than a Mars bar.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, man.
I remember
100%.
melted Mars bars way back in the day, before the deep frying was happening.
the
just
youth
the
cafe in
melted one.
Lossie.
Exactly, that's what I'm on about. That's you used to go for your Friday night football,
Yeah.
go up, and then all of a sudden you get your
was that the
microwave
one
Mars bar.
Up at the town hall.
Yeah, behind the town
Aye.
hall.
Well, it originated in this is going back from my day. Community centre.
Yeah.
When we used to go down there, I used to run up with a wee tuck shop. That was
awesome.
madness.
You want to know the most messed up thing I've seen?
Go on then.
The guy's brand new watch.
Oh,
What?
Worked with a chef and he used to deep fry like random stuff. And this guy, I think his name was Alex or something like that. He was a really big guy, filled the sink. And I think he just came back from the Navy or the Merchant Navy or something like that. And he bought himself a really nice watch and he was wearing it to work to wash dishes.
It's not a good idea.
I think what the chef told him to take it off and he went to the toilet or something like that, and the chef wrapped it. I'm sure he wrapped it in cling film and then tin foil and then deep fried it or something like that, and it was totally fine, but it was absolutely roasting. Like,
I can
Imagine that. Like that whole thing is just a conductor of the
honestly,
heat.
like, I thought it was going to be messed up, but
So yeah, obviously that was a little dessert. We spoke a little bit about deep fried desserts, but what is your favorite dessert?
anything creamy.
Anything creamy is what, like ice cream, or it's like just like
Nah,
clotted cream?
cheesecakes and whatnot.
Cheesecake, panna cotta,
love
creme
panna
brulee is probably my all-time favorite.
Like a
I love a
creme
creme brulee.
I hate making them, but I enjoy
Creme
eating them.
caramels.
Oh yes.
You ever seen the video of the person sucking a creme caramel?
Just having an all-round bad time.
So the last, well, Paul, what's your favorite dessert?
I like making cheesecakes.
Do you know what? I think we've spoke about this as well. I am a big fan of cheesecake. Big
Baked
fan of it.
or just
No, just normal. No, I'm not a big fan of baked cheesecakes. I don't know why. I've got nothing really against them.
I don't
They
actually know
don't
the
offend
difference.
me. But I was like, no, can't be bothered with that.
and they always crack. Like you can never get them perfect. Like,
Exactly.
it always
So I was
cracks.
like, no, I'll just normal cheesecake. Just your basic filling and
You can add whatever you want to.
exactly whatever. I was like, oh, what? Have I got Maltesers there? Have I got Aero? Have I got Crunchy?
I used to, my pal who I lived with a while ago, I used to get bourbons and custard creams and crush them all up and make the base out of them.
Oh, see, it's
Naughty stuff. Naughty stuff, that.
I used to, when I was working up at the cafe in Grampian Furnitures in Elgin, I used to make all the shortbread and all that. So I would just use that as the base as well.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
shortbread would be, that's a very naughty one, that one. That's a very, very naughty one.
Our chefs know many many ways to.
There's many secrets.
So in the northeast corner, obviously our food style can be quite versatile, but where would your favourite place to eat be in the area?
In this area, I'm gonna have to be biased.
Say
my old work, like Bootleggers or the Bothy, like.
And what if it's going to be the Bothy? What dish from there really stood out to you?
Oh man,
you got to have that one. There's always got to be one.
I worked there for a fair few years. I went to Gordon. I went back there. I went back to Gordon. But like I worked with a fair few good chefs that took me under the wing. And
cousin Sean Finns,
Sean and Paul were two of the main guys who like kind of gave me inspiration to be a chef, really. But probably a lobster salad. That's quite cliche as well. But like
that sounds
a really nice lobster salad with like heritage tomatoes and like nice herbs and a nice dressing. Just really simple stuff. Like I'm all about simple and full of flavour. I'm not about all this 100 things on a plate. Like
it's just this
nice and simple. As long as the flavour
is the main thing.
That's it. It's about the beach bar with the Cajun chicken pasta. That was my favourite thing to make.
Yeah.
Well, because it was my favourite thing to eat.
That rules out that. I was going to ask you the next time, but that's fine, Paul. Don't you worry.
Sorry.
So obviously that was at the Bothy. What about at Gordonston, at your current place to work? Because obviously you guys are in control of the menu. So if, for example, the menu's up and you weren't working but you were coming in to eat, what would be the one thing you'd want to see on that menu?
That is on the menu.
We'll ask about a future idea next. That's fine. That's a good idea.
Well, there's a proposed new menu.
Oh.
But I think there's quite a lot of things that have been buggered up by Brexit. So I'm probably going to get mixed up between the new menu and the old menu.
That's
I've looked
fine.
at the new menu quite a lot. You know what? Just a nice fish and chips.
Yeah,
you know
Fish Fridays.
Fish Fridays, man.
Fridays,
Like, fish Fridays, fish, chips, beans and peas.
Simple but
tartar
effective.
sauce.
And the other good thing about that is they actually do a gluten-free batter. Sometimes, not all the time, but occasionally I land on my feet and it's John, it's gluten-free.
If there's no gluten-free batter, it's just plain steamed haddock.
But that's your favourite night in Gordonston, when that would be the meal you'd want to see when you go in.
Fish and chips.
It's a hearty feed. It's a hearty feed, that, isn't it? It's a good feed.
Yeah,
fish and chips.
It's just effective, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's simple, effective, and it just works. And pardon me, but fish and chips just work.
They do. It's one
and
of
it makes you
things.
happy.
Exactly.
I've always said, my chefing career, I've always said, as long as the customer or people have a full belly and a smile on their face, that's all I really care about.
Exactly. That's the main thing.
I totally just lost my trail of thought then. So obviously in Silver Sands, Paul, for you, what is it on their menu that really stands out to you? And that obviously that you would go in and you know for a fact that's what I'm ordering.
Oh, there's quite a few things.
If you're really going to struggle between a few, name a few by all means.
The tikka's always a winner.
What, the chicken tikka?
Yeah, because we get the paste in, but we also do our own paste as well.
Oh, nice.
We just start your garam masala and whatnot.
Kind of do that as well.
Yeah, just add it to it. Just kind of bulk it out, and that's always a winner.
Put your own spin on it.
Yeah, inside there's a little steak pie and.
Do you make your own steak pies?
Yeah, oh yes.
Oh, nice.
I do love a pie.
But we're only supposed to be using breaks for our everything, but we're being a bit naughty. We're going to Booker's for our meeting because I'm good pals with the butchery team.
Elwyn
And Stephen. So, and I can't complain about them.
It's
about the meat that
decent
the
enough.
suppliers.
It's not. Breaks is
garbage. Because that was another one that nearly came out there, but yes.
Because that's another thing. You've actually spun up a question for me then, because the amount of people you meet in this industry, and the contacts you make that really come in handy. For example, Like it's crazy as well. The people you meet, the people you work with. Without a doubt, I have a feeling you could probably phone up almost any of these people, and you'll either get the favor you're looking for, or you're going to get the information you need.
100%.
Because it seems like it is quite, although it can seem like quite a stressful working environment, it also quite a close knit community where like if one is really struggling, it's I need a bit of help, and then normally people are firing questions or answers or solutions at you. So
it has to be close knit, because if not, then everything just goes tits up.
Yeah, real fast.
Very sideways, very fast.
For example, at the Bothy, we used to use, I won't name the fishmonger, but we used to use a fishmonger from close to Bucky, and
I think I know the one you mean.
There's quite a few.
I think I know the one you mean.
And we were their best customer in the whole area. We're quite far away from them, about 45 minutes. Yeah. Half an hour, 45 minutes away from them. And I'm sure we spent like 70 grand within 6 months or something.
Yeah.
Just on fish.
Wow.
And we always got free stuff and like cheaper stuff and that, because we were their best customer.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
were the customer.
That's how it works. Like, I feel like if you're good to your suppliers, they'll be good to you.
Yeah, that's it.
So I mean, there's definitely a bit of give and take, definitely, isn't there?
100%.
Always, as long as you're happy to kind of show your loyalty and keep going back to them, they'll be quite happy to give you a deal, or give them a little extra crate of this or whatnot, or give you a good deal, really.
Eat more fish. We used to use at the beach bar.
Yeah.
Eat more fish. I used to drive through on a Wednesday, and I got fuel money, and I got paid as well, so win-win.
Ooh, yeah.
But I was on my break.
So is it give and take?
Yeah, eat more fish, and I just go through for however many stone a haddock. And
That's wild.
North Atlantic, the J Cup, big. I don't know what the other haddocks are, but these ones were monsters. Yeah,
Singles.
Yeah, that was
absolute monster fish.
The singles can be big. Like,
yeah,
I think with a fillet, did they butterfly it?
Yeah, the butterfly. The
butterfly
fillet. Yeah,
that's how you get the two.
Yeah, so you get the spine.
Because I think is it with a flatfish. If you're filleting a flatfish, there's actually 4 fillets to get off of it. You do one that's on the top and the bottom, the same place. Yeah. Essentially, I didn't cane that.
Yeah,
and the only place you really get shown that is if you actually work offshore. That's one of the things they tell you to fillet when you go in for your training to go off on the rigs to do the chef, and they're like, right, fillet this fish. I had a couple of pals who went to do it, and they were like, the only reason we knew is because one guy actually told us there's 4 fillets. Cut in, flip it, cut in, done.
I did that at college.
The top side's easy enough.
Yeah.
I feel like once you get to the underside, it gets a bit harder. Or whichever side you start at, really.
Yeah.
Because like the second side you do is more hard.
Yeah, it's not got support underneath it anymore, has it? Essentially,
you got less to work with.
Yeah,
so
exactly. It's not fighting back anymore. It's just playing dead. So obviously we spoke about kind of favourite places and all that. But what's back to you again, Logan? What is your favourite cooking style of your own? Like, is it like Thai? Is it like anything like along them kind of lines? Is that more American style cooking or?
I really like Italian food.
Yeah.
I don't cook it enough though. I'd probably just say like British seafood.
British seafood.
As I said earlier on, simple but tasty.
Yeah.
Like.
But your favourite cooking style is Italian.
Yes.
It's definitely the Italian.
Yes. I just love how simple things can be.
And that's so
like,
flavoursome.
They just make your own pasta, and then it can literally be like olive oil and lemon zest. Like, you know what I mean? Olive oil, lemon zest, salt and pepper, and that's it, and it tastes amazing.
And they get the Michelin star.
I just like honestly. Like,
I know it is crazy, isn't it?
Or like just like really simple things chucked into homemade pasta with a bit of olive oil.
Yeah.
That's it.
So if you were going to like a fancy Italian restaurant, what would be the 3 meals you would like to order? I know like you say you do like to kind of, it doesn't have to be all singing, all dancing, but as long as it's Italian, I have a feeling you're going to be like a bolognese kind of guy.
We have bolognese at least once a week at home.
Yeah. Everyone loves a bolognese.
Who doesn't?
Exactly.
Everyone loves last night.
There we go.
The only problem with spaghetti bolognese is the mess it makes on your face.
Someone comes into work and you're like, the next day you're like, you had bolognese for tea last night. Because we bolognese smile.
Still got it encrusted in the mustache. Because for me, my favourite cooking style is also Italian, and my one actually goes to a restaurant in Cyprus called Il Gusto's. And I used to go with my family quite a lot, and I'd always get the same 3 things every time I went. My pronunciation is going to totally be wrong, and it's going to be horrible.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure it's el aglio, el olio, and it's essentially prawns on a bed of spinach and like olive oil with a bit of garlic and stuff in it. Oh, it was
Sounds
lovely.
amazing.
It was fun, but such a small thing, and it was just your starter. So I'd get that, and then I'd normally go for either spag bowl, or I'd go for the mussels. Mussels in like the white wine
I like
sauce.
mussels.
Oh, me. So rich.
touch
And
it,
the
God.
bad thing is about that, no one can be held at fault of this, but if you get one bad mussel, that's your whole meal back up like an hour later. Do you know how infuriating that is?
Dear
When you've eaten it and you're like, that is phenomenal.
But-
and I'm going to get shafted because now
Turn yourself inside out for one bad muscle again.
When a chef's prepping, you should really realise if it's bad or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's unfortunate. It does happen,
It
though,
does
doesn't it? It does happen. So what about you then, Paul? What's your favourite cooking style?
Oh, I don't know. I just gotta go for it.
You do seem to like burgers, so you like to cook with a lot of burgers as well. You like
I just my meats, my steaks and whatnot.
so it's more. I'd say more American style, kind of really, isn't
more
it?
American style.
Yeah.
Philly cheese steak.
I stuff like that and just
Literally hit the nail on the head.
yeah, stuff like that. It's, well,
You can't go wrong with it.
It's
Everybody likes that sort of thing. You
Well,
know what I
exactly.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
simple, and it's just simple but effective, and everybody kind of likes it.
Yeah.
Unless
who
you're
doesn't like a
vegetarian.
burger?
Well,
I
exactly.
love No, it's meatless burgers and whatnot.
They can be. I have tried some of the plant-based burgers. I have
The
tried
vegan
them.
corn burgers are pretty nice. They're not gluten free, but they're pretty nice.
Not
The
bad.
corn nuggets that we get in, they're actually
They're good,
They're
yeah.
banging it.
I did experiment with corn for a little while. I was using the corn mince and the corn chicken bits. I was experimenting with it. Oh my god, trying to make bolognese out of that mince. I don't know what half the fluid in it was. I was like, I've not added anything to this. This is like swimming. It's like a meaty, fake meaty soup. I'm like, this is not. And everyone's like, oh, you got to heat it up to. I'm like, it's on highest heat, man. I'm like, this is just not going away. Yeah, I don't know what they put in it, but sometimes I'm just like, no, and it doesn't come off clear. Like the color that's coming off was like, it was colored, you know. So it just, it's like, nah,
The mince,
it's
the
bad.
corn pieces, and the corn fillets are not nice. Any of the other stuff is decent that I've tried anyway. Faking, it's quite nice as well.
I've never tried it. I didn't believe it was a thing until somebody, was it wee Isabel, sent me a photo of it, and I was like, nah.
I don't believe it.
Nah, there's physical evidence. I was like, nah, that doesn't exist.
It's quite
Get in the
good.
bin.
We went vegetarian for January.
Yeah.
We couldn't do veganuary, no way, because we miss cheese and butter too much. I put butter in everything,
Yeah.
cheese in most things. So we went vegetarian for January and tried out heaps of new things, and it was pretty ace to try the faking and like
Yeah.
loads of different things. But my missus ended up not being too well
It's
after
because
it, and I don't know if it.
Maybe the lack of protein.
that's
Yeah,
what I'm
I-
thinking.
yeah.
Yeah. It's not as if she's doing. She didn't gradually do that. I'm guessing
You
you
just
stopped.
go.
You done cold turkey. You went boom. None of this. All of this.
Yeah, and I think she was iron deficient before.
Yeah.
And she is still breastfeeding. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know if all that stuff, like breastfeeding takes a massive
Alright.
Toll on them anyway. yeah.
toll on you. Like,
I wouldn't know personally.
Well, no, neither. Unfortunately, luckily, none of us would here.
but yeah, we
can
done
imagine,
it, and she
but
was just like really lethargic all the time, almost like. So like, I don't know if people are going to go vegetarian. Like, I think you need supplements. You
need to
need
be
iron
prepared,
supplements. You need like all your vitamin supplements and that, because
Holland and Barrett's probably the best place to go. But then again, that's I mean, do you really want to start eating healthily just to go start? I know it's healthy pills, essentially, you're going to be taking. But I mean, do you really want to start eating healthy just to take a couple pills as well to make sure that your iron's up?
No.
Do you really want to? You don't, do you? Unfortunately, you don't.
I like a balanced diet
that
as much
steak.
as everybody
Yeah.
else.
eat that burger, have that chips and cheese.
Go mental.
Eat some
Enjoy
red meat
yourself.
then. So, we've obviously done it like cooking styles, and if you're at a restaurant, what would be your favourite thing to eat? But what's your most favourite basic home-cooked meal?
My mum's lasagna.
I was going to start. Shall we do that? That gets
Garlic
cooked
bread.
for you, and then we'll do one that you cook. So we'll
like
start
it.
one that's cooked for you, which is your mum's lasagna and garlic bread.
Even better the second day.
Oh, that's a good shout. That's a good shout. What about you?
lasagna.
Well, your mum's lasagna as well?
My mum's lasagna.
Oh, me. See, for me, it's my mum's. She calls it chicken fajita rice. And all it is just chicken with fajita flavouring with a bunch of rice, a little bit of veg in it, and done in the wok. Oh, it's phenomenal. It's so naughty.
Can I change my mind about what I would have, at work?
Go on, then.
The Cajun chicken, creamy Cajun chicken.
Yeah, I know how good that is.
I only started putting that on recently, and like the young kids in Aberlour.
Yeah. Because our survey's broken up on two sides. You get like the older kids and and it's like the younger kids. So it's just two separate surveys.
Scrapping.
Probably. Get off my table, you wee one.
Yeah, so all that wee ones were coming up, and they were like, "That was amazing. You need to put that on again." And heaps of people are asking for it, so I've had it on quite a few times recently. Like, so
it's definitely
probably that and fish and chips. I can't leave.
You can't leave the fish ones off. No.
It's just good.
Yeah. So obviously now it's one for you. What's your basic home cooked meal that you cook? What's your favourite one to do?
Basic.
So obviously this is going to be the favourite one that you enjoy doing for obviously your family, or just for yourself. And don't sit there and just say couple sausages, a bit of bacon, and a tatty scone, because it's nay accepting that.
I like cheesy pasta.
Ah, the red packet.
Yeah. Nah, like I wouldn't really say. Well, it is kind of simple, but like steak. Like me and Bethany, my partner, we used to have steak very regularly. When we had money. We now have 2 kids, a nice house.
It's now steak once a year.
But like steak, and a lot of the time I'll try and mix it up and not do the same accompaniments because I want to try different stuff. So like just steak and stuff.
And stuff.
Steak and stuff.
Steak and ting. I think for me, with steak, it's I love peppercorn sauce.
Oh yeah.
I've got a real bad hankering for peppercorn sauce.
Chips,
a lot of
chips, cheese, and peppercorn sauce.
Cannot go wrong.
But I do need steak on there as well. So, Paul, what's your favourite one to cook at home for yourself or your family?
I make a random thing called I'm not even named it, and I've been cooking it for years.
Well,
you get a deep dish pizza tin. It's like a lasagna, but with chili.
Oh, like chili con carne?
You make it with wraps instead of pasta.
So is it kind of like
that sounds well. So the
quesadilla.
Tortillas go like crispy?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a nachos thing, but instead of using nachos, you're using tortillas.
Nachos on the top, but cheese.
I quite like the idea of that.
Is it like what's the one where
quesadilla? Yeah, it's almost like a quesadilla, but
lasagna.
Yeah,
shape,
but with chili.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh,
that sounds actually pretty good. I'm like, ooh.
Always, the cheese sauce is the main part.
Oh yeah.
None of this packet rubbish.
Now I've got
a good old roux.
A good old roux. I don't like that. I don't like me. I can't get my head around making a roux for the cheese sauce. I've tried this before, and I don't. Some people make it look too easy, and I've actually tried it, and I'm like, how have you done this?
Can you make a white sauce without making a mess? It's like you put a little bit of milk in after you've made your roux, and it's like you stir it and it just goes. And you're like, okay, so you wipe it up and you're like, I'm gonna be very careful.
I am yet to meet somebody, a fellow chef
that can keep his area tidy. Right, so for me, with my own basic meal, I'm gonna be one of. Do you know what? Actually, I know what mine is. Mine is definitely like a Sunday roast day. Just without a doubt. I love the whole meat on a plate. I love it with all the accompaniments of roast potatoes, veg, yolk. Pardon?
What meat?
I love beef. I full on love beef. But with the beef, I have to heavily pepper it, like ground black pepper. I have to really heavily pepper. I love pepper. Love it. I didn't used to like salad. Salad's a new thing for me, which I've only really been eating for about a year and a half. But I can now eat salad with just salt and a little bit of pepper on it. I never used to be able to do that. I would look at salad, eat it, and be like, you know, when you're actually going to be. That's what it used to do to me, and I was like, I can't do this. But nowadays, I'm like, a little bit of that or Caesar salad dressing. That stuff is banging. But yeah, for my one, beef Sunday dinner. A beef Sunday dinner, all the accompaniments. That is definitely my fave. I love doing it.
What type of beef?
Normally with me, it's not. Oh, you're asking me now. I don't know about joints, man. I don't know enough about joints. A nice beef roasting joint out of Asda.
Mine's a rump.
A rump.
Oh, I do like a good rump.
But the thing with my roast potatoes are not just plain roast potatoes. Marmite roast potatoes.
Oh yes.
Naughty things.
I'm out.
No, I don't like Marmite. I won't eat it on toast because I don't like it. Putting it on potatoes and then roasting them though, absolutely phenomenal.
Gives them the beefy flavour.
See,
And it's salty.
I've never actually tried it, so I can't say I'm out.
I'm telling you, really good, eh? Next time you're thinking about doing it, just a wee spoon in with them, mix it up, and then just stick them into bake.
You've probably heard of the flavour umami. Like
Who?
umami.
Oh.
Like it's like a meaty. You obviously got your sweet, savoury, salty.
I don't think I have.
Umami. So it's like that's your meaty flavour.
Yeah.
So like it makes things
Meaty.
taste meaty.
So it's got that meaty taste. It's like cooking everything in beef
I
dripping.
don't know why I thought of that word and why I had to tell you that word, but it's umami.
Umami. Umami. I like it. It's a new word of the day.
Umami.
Right, guys. What are your hopes for the future with cooking itself? I mean, do you want to move to somewhere different? Do you have hopes of maybe going somewhere different with it? Do you want to maybe stay in Gordonston and maybe update it a bit more? Go a bit. I know within reason you've got to keep it at a certain level because it's children and school kids that you're cooking for, isn't it? Yeah, when you're doing the functions, that's when you really get to shine and show your creativity. But I mean, I suppose I can't really even ask that question about Gordonston, can I? At that front.
You get £4 to feed them.
Is that how it's
Each
worked out?
per head per day, and that includes a snack. So that's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a snack.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
Hey, they make it work day in and day out.
Chicken breast is like £1.
I suppose that works out. One breast per child.
Chicken for breakfast.
Yeah. So
Chicken for lunch.
what about you, Paul, with hopes for the future? Are you hoping to kind of, obviously I'm guessing you're both, well, even you, Logan, I'm guessing you want to stay in the industry though, aren't you? Like, yeah, you're quite happy in the industry, although it might be a bit of a bad situation for it, but you're quite happy in doing what you're doing.
I am, but if something different comes up and it's going to be more money,
more beneficial.
Like I'm always, it sounds really silly, but
You've got a family to
I'm
think
always
about
going to be
now,
chasing the money
you?
because I have a family.
Exactly.
Like,
we get that though. That's the thing that you got to be honest.
Like,
you got to be honest. So that's fair.
I would like to stay in industry, but if something better came up, if
You've got to
someone
be
said, "Look,
realistic.
I'll put you through training to go offshore and do
and I'll pay you double,"
this, and you get double the money, I would do it.
Yeah.
Like,
what about you, Paul? Do you feel the same or?
I'm enjoying it, but I've been doing it for nearly 13 years.
So I mean, you've been in the industry a long time, haven't you?
Yeah. So I started when I was 13. So.
Do you think if you ever left the industry, do you reckon you would? I'm it's no point asking. Do you reckon you would miss it? Because I know you'd miss it.
Oh, massively.
You would. So I think here, I don't think you would happily leave the industry. I think that it's not just because you're comfortable there. I think it's because it's what you know, and you thrive in the kitchen. You really
it becomes
do
a
thrive in the
massive
kitchen.
part of your life. Your lifestyle, just honestly, it's like
I bet if I came over to your house and walked in your kitchen, I'd be like, "What the hell is all of this stuff?"
It's organised.
Yeah, ingredients I've never even heard of.
It is your life, like.
Yeah.
It's.
I've got to ask, do you start making your oils fancy at home? Do you put like little bits of lemon zest in your... Nah.
Definitely not.
You know what? I bought cold pressed rapeseed oil one time, and it was amazing. Scottish cold pressed rapeseed oil. The colour was amazing. The flavour was amazing. You can put that on your plain salad with a little bit of salt and pepper.
Oh, I bet a bit of cold pressed
Honestly,
rapeseed oil.
Amazing. But it's like
Michelin
veg
style.
oil's like a quarter of the price. Like,
Right.
I normally have an okay bottle of olive oil
Yeah.
and
You've got one for general cooking and one for fine cooking kind of style.
cheap vegetable oil.
Well, there's no point in like deep fat frying ahen in your fancy oil, is there?
Yeah.
No.
Olive oil will go on fire as well.
See, these are things that I don't actually know.
It's got a lot lower. Is it spark? Spark temp?
Well, yeah, spark temperature. Yeah, I guess
That was it.
It's basically its boiling point where it's going to burst into flames.
70 or something. I think I don't know. I wouldn't quote me on it.
Oh, that's crazy.
But yeah, it's you're more likely to be set on fire with that than not.
So this one's this question's a bit more of a what if. So if you owned your own restaurant here in the northeast corner, whereabouts would you have it situated? What would you call it? And what kind of food would you focus on? Yeah, this is to both of you, so.
See, there's a nice bit of land that has.
Shout out to the beach bar.
That has, I believe, might be some houses getting built there.
So basically, you would love where the beach bar used to be.
I would, yes.
Yeah.
I would have that, and I would just have the beach the way it was.
Yeah.
Just
Same
everything.
kind of menu. Would you still call it the beach bar, or would you change, or even change it just to the beacher?
It should be the beacher.
The beacher. Oh,
That's
wow.
where
No more beach bar. The beacher.
where hangovers come and go.
Or where hangovers come to die.
Yeah, many a time.
Come in and a nice big plate of mince and tatties just to sort you out.
Because it is, I mean, a lot of it there, I mean, you had some of the fine dining in the beacher, but a lot of it was kind of like homely cooked meals, wasn't it?
There was very little bought in frozen. Like
Yeah, a lot of it was all freshly prepped and everything.
the
wasn't it?
brownie was bought in frozen, and it was amazing.
Sometimes you
Very
get
happy with
little golden ones, don't
Exactly.
Yeah, I used to make I say milkshakes, they're more like mousses.
you? With the brownie.
Yeah, the brownie, a bit of ice cream, bit of milk, bit of double cream, just blitz it up, whack out a pint glass, you're sorted.
Was that when you were hungover?
Yes.
Yes, most definitely.
It's just all the sugar, okay, and just sort you right out.
Go on then, Logie there. So we'll start off with the area. What area would if you could anyway? Because obviously I know that you would love. I know you'd love to go back to Burghead. So I'm quite surprised you're not being like.
Talk about it. I'd love to live in Burghead again. Well, let's not talk about that. Anywhere beside the sea.
As long as
Probably a busy harbour.
Oh,
Lossy.
So you think maybe like where the Harbour
Burghead.
Cafe is, the
Yeah.
Harbour tea rooms are.
Yeah. Even Hopeman.
As long as it's got that seaside kind of town vibe, that seems
I
to be
feel
what
like
you're looking
seaside.
for.
The good thing about the bootleggers in Hopeman is you can actually people can watch the fishermen get their lobster for them.
yeah.
Oh,
Like
wow. I didn't
you can
know that.
literally see the guy getting the lobsters that
That's
are going to be
crazy.
cooked later on in the day.
I didn't even know that.
Stuff like that, I just love them.
That's
That's
wild.
awesome.
That's
like-
that's definitely
It's literally not even a mile away.
100% locally
Yeah.
sourced.
Like
When I was at the Station Hotel in Hopeman, before I went to the beacher, Jimmy would come in most mornings. Just there's a bucket of live lobsters and a couple of crab claws. He was a coarse bugger, Jimmy.
is he an old man?
Aye,
Jimmy's
awesome. But he would pull.
What was his other? Did he have a nickname? Apart from Jimmy,
I don't know.
there was a man for Hopeman, and he used to phone him. Alright, what you saying? And you'd speak to him for about 2 minutes and be like, "Hello, hello."
That sounds like Jimmy. But no, he was awesome. Jimmy and Sylvia.
Aye.
Mrs. I thoroughly enjoyed working at the Station Hotel.
I've heard quite a lot of good things about it. Sorry, Logan. What would you call your restaurant though?
That's a really difficult
I know.
question.
I know. I know. If I was to ever go into this kind of industry, I know exactly what mine would be.
I just thought of a name for a restaurant. It's
Like
it's
Tide.
Tide. That's quite clever. That actually
Don't know. That's
Yeah.
keeps it kind of like the seaside theme going,
Waves.
water themed. Yeah.
I did think waves, and I was like,
Tide sounds quite sounds quite fancy, doesn't it?
yeah.
or tidal.
Tidal sounds more like a club. I like Tide. Tide's
Tide's
a good sound. There you go. We've got your business plan sorted. So I think-
invest.
So I think for me, if I was to ever own my own kind of restaurant, I'm gonna change mine because I'm not as professional as you guys or been actually involved in that industry too heavily. Mine would be like a bakery kind of place, and I'd call it Hasty's Tasty Pastries. Boom.
You've thought about that a lot.
I have. And do you want to know why? It's because when I lived in Cyprus, the on the base we had the little local Indian takeaway, and it was actually called, I think it was Tasty Hasties, but it wasn't spelt the same as my surname. It was YS, but it was just Tasty Hasties, and I was like, Hasty's Tasty Pastries. There we go. So I've had that plan since I was 16.
You know what? I miss a good bakery, man. Like Burghead had a bakery growing up, and the baker was amazing. She still does some stuff from home, and but like someone tried to reopen it and they just had to charge too much for things. Like it's not their fault. They just had to charge more than what people expected, and people can't afford it anymore to go up to the bakery for a loaf of bread or like a couple of
wee things.
Batteries in the morning, you know what I mean?
Tenner,
when you can go to the shop and buy it for £1
and get double the amount.
Yeah.
It's like when you open up somewhere new, it's going to take 2-3 years before you actually start making money. So
that's it. That's the thing. That's the thing with the industry, though, isn't it? You have to take into account you ain't going to be making loads of money in the first year or even in the first couple of years, isn't it? You've got to end up being realistic, being like, right, I can plan to make money, but to get there, we've got to get through all of this. We've just got to keep with it. It'll be the same with most business as well. But as we've been discussing, I mean, with the industry at the moment, it's just struggling, and it's from outside influences like COVID and Brexit making it far too difficult for anything to actually happen. So yeah, that was my little idea of a restaurant if it was to ever to come to fruition. I don't think it ever will, though.
I've got another idea for a restaurant, but it's not podcast friendly. It's like a Hooters, but not. But yes,
I quite like the idea of this. So is there anything that you want to ask at all, Paul? You got any questions?
No, not really. I can't.
Well, I've got one more.
I've gone blank.
I've put you on the spot.
He keeps putting me on the spot, and I'm like,
So we'll go back to when it can be a little bit stressful for you in the kitchen. But if you were to have, well, I know you basically have full control over what's happening or what's getting cooked and prepped anyway. But for say the next function, this is something that I have to look forward to. Unfortunately, Ryan and Paul will miss out on this, but I will not.
Oh, if it's after the 5th of November, I can give you a hand.
But what's going to be your what is your plan for a lovely main course?
We're limited to what we can use, what we can spend.
Yeah. Because you normally have some rough kind of idea, don't
students
you?
obviously pay their fees, but then we do functions for
more than just the students.
There's OGs, so this is people who, I don't know if they invest in Gordonston. This is old Gordonston pupils. I don't know if they invest in Gordonston or if it's to do a bit of advertisement and encourage their kids to come or whatever.
Yeah.
But you got to do meals and stuff like that, and they're not paying for those meals.
Mm-hmm.
Any of the functions, I don't think anyone ever pays for. No. House meals, whatever. So like, I would love to do a nice bit of venison, like venison
that's
loin,
a naughty meat.
like,
Big bit of Bambi.
some buttered cavallonero, like just some red cabbage, some braised red cabbage, maybe a fondant potato or something. Just
I quite like fondant potatoes. I do quite like that. That's a relatively new thing.
I saw a video quite a while ago, and it was I don't know if he was the sous chef or the head chef of the place, and he was absolutely going mental, shaking the pan, taking the video while doing fondant potatoes, and I'm like, no, just leave it.
Leave it to chill, man. Yeah.
The more you stress the food out, the more you're gonna get stressed
I worked
out.
with a chef who he just said to me, look, Logan, you need to leave. You need to leave the food, like, because I was always like moving the pan or like touching it and looking at the bit of fish, and he's just like, leave it. You'll know when to turn it, or you'll know when it's almost ready. Like, just leave it.
That's the thing with me. It's my anxiety.
It's hard. It's really hard to get that into your head. Just leave it.
Yeah. See, this is gonna sound weird, but say you've got something on the griddle or like an egg in the pan, and you can it's out of eyesight, but you can hear it. You're like, oh, that's done. It's strange.
I know. For me, I know what you mean with that. Obviously, if I'm doing a bit of cooking at home, nothing fancy, like a wee little cooked breakfast or something. You're right with the sound. You can hear when something's properly sizzling away in a pan. You're like, something's done. Someone's definitely got. Oh, it's close to.
No.
Yeah.
Or like, oh.
Or it's my tinnitus has just gone away.
You can also smell it.
Yeah. Black smoke's a dead giveaway, guys.
That's it.
I'm good at burnt toast.
Actually, here's one question I've actually forgotten to ask you: is what is your most catastrophic day in a kitchen? Like where something is where the one day everything has gone wrong, it has gone wrong. But this is for you. So, like, have you ever, like, for me, in my head, I've just got this image of one of you is maybe cooking something and you're thinking, yes, this is going to be amazing. It's for someone quite posh or they're here to do a review, and I don't know, you burn it. You get left doing have to do everything from scratch.
No, mine's not food related. It's fryer related.
Equipment related.
I know it's coming already.
Cleaning the fryers.
With
a hangover. So I wasn't able shoulder deep into the fryers. Just a right good scrub. They were gleaming.
Yeah.
I was like, yes. I think, I don't know, I get massive satisfaction out of cleaning at work. I don't know why.
That's good.
Yes.
It's not a bad thing.
Everyone wants their kitchen to be clean.
Clean kitchen is a happy kitchen.
Well, so they say.
But as I was filling the fryers,
did you close it?
I did.
All right, good.
The seal had went. So 20 litres of oil. Well, no, I was pouring it. I was having a good time. The tunes were on it. I was just having a time. It was good vibes. I was rough, but I was happy. You know what I mean?
Aye, gets to that time of day, you're like...
Then it all went downhill very quickly, then I wasn't happy. It was just oil.
At least it was clean oil.
Well, I'd have preferred dirty oil again. Yeah.
Would you have just flopped in it and rolled about in it for a while and crying or something like that?
Swud about the kitchen floor again, just
slug.
Sad. Just zooming about, covered in oil.
I've actually got one which is very, very, it's basically the exact same story as yours, and this is when I worked in the Tesco cafe in Elgin. Wasn't any kind of chef, I was a glorified Merry Chef oven. That's what I was. So everything was, that's what everything was. I didn't have to do, and I had fryers and a couple little panini grills, that's all I had. So
fryer and microwave technician.
That's exactly what I was, and I loved it. Until the one day I went in, and I was doing night shift, so I was supposed to do all the cleaning, I was emptying the fryers, doing all of this. And they told me, every 3 days, you definitely need to change the oil. Every other day, you check it just to see the colour of it and judge. I was like, right, okay. So it got to the third day, and I thought, this definitely needs to change the day. And I've not really been paying attention. So I've been that tired, because it's 2 o'clock in the morning at this point, and everything's off, and it's quite dark, it's quite quiet, so you're just like, I can't really be bothered, Kane. And I've just had a lapse of judgment. I haven't went and got the barrel to empty this oil into. And I've just went and pulled the bloody lever. And when you have that instant panic, you don't instantly react and turn it off. You stand there and you're going, what the hell is going on? And I'm just like, oh no! I had to whack it off. And the worst part about it was I had to go find a Tesco cleaner and be like, I need you in here. I was like, I don't have any cleaning products to clean up this. And he was like, so I'm finished in half an hour. I was like, do what you can in half an hour. Unfortunately, I had no other choice. I just had to look. He was on his hands and knees, bless him, scrubbing it with all these different powders and chemicals. And he was like, mate, he goes, I can't lift it up any more than what I've done, because he doesn't have access to go down the shop floor and grab salt, because the cleaning's not exactly Tesco cleaners. They're their own company, aren't they? So they're like it's like a mini company within.
Why were you there at 2 a.m? Because
I was doing the night shift, so I'd be feeding all the night staff.
So I
had to do that to go in.
So the staff get meals, or do they have to pay for them?
No. Well, they do pay for them, but they're on a wee card, and they get it at a major discounted price to what they pay on the other side.
50p or something like that.
You're talking, instead of paying, say outside the front, they would be like £5 for their fish and chips. They'd be paying $2.50. So it's like 50% off.
That's a week up at Silver Signs, 50%
and
off.
There was no difference in it. Like, this was years ago. This was back when it was actually Avenance, Taste for Life, or Elio, something along those lines was the company. That's when I had 3663. I hate that company. Hated with a passion.
They are garbage.
Frozen food nightmares.
Frozen
food nightmares.
Breaks are garbage.
Breaks are
garbage.
Breaks are alright. Just the quality of their meat's just terrible.
I mean, who do we get? Bid food.
That's
We get bid food.
See, yes, I like bid food.
Yeah.
See, I was at the beach yard. Bid food. Boom. I like bid food. And I get to speak to, what was her name on the phone? Oh, she was lovely.
Just a lovely telephone lady.
She was just lovely.
What did you use for a veg?
Spay fruit.
We used to use Williamson's.
Oh, right.
From Inverness. And Annetta, if you're listening,
we love you.
No, honestly, she was so sound. Like you could stay on the phone with her for ages. She was just really sound.
Yeah,
and she sounded quite hot.
Yeah, see, Lindsay, that was her name. And I was just on the phone with her, and Aye, but 20 minutes after I put my order in, we'd still be talking. And then I found out from one of the delivery drivers, she was not as nice as she sounded.
So you never got to see her, you just have this image.
So she has a face for the radio.
Apparently so. And I'm like,
me.
but I'd never changed my opinion of her. I was just still sound. Still had a laugh with her. Again.
Would you ever do any cooking competitions?
I definitely would. I put my name forward for one maybe 2 years ago. I think it was Young Highland Chef of the Year.
Oh.
Bates, you'll know
Yeah,
Bates.
I know Bates.
Bates done that. Bates is a cool guy.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. He's got his little street food van, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Good lad.
I went for that a few years ago, but I never put any effort into the pack. You had to do like a pack and like a recipe pack and like costings and stuff like that. And like I was going through a time where like there was lots going on. I wasn't forced to do it, but like people were like, Logan, you should definitely do this. And I was like, I didn't want to disappoint people. I probably disappointed them more by just
not giving it your all,
half-arsing it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's the thing with being a chef. You want to impress everybody, but you can't.
You need to find enough time to be yourself and do your own thing as well. But that's what I was meaning about like the atmospheres that we both work in. Yeah. You know, I mean, it can be so tense, it can be so busy, and like you say, it can be 15-hour shifts. Yeah, you do split shifts a lot. I mean, you come in and you're doing long shifts at that bloody school.
I normally do. Like my normal shift is like a 10 hour, which isn't a lot compared to what I used to do at the Baltic. Like Friday and Saturday would be 15 hours.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That was it. Like 15 hours.
13 and a half hours is a bit
normal for you guys.
And that's with a split in the middle.
No, just straight through.
I can't do splits. As much as like it might seem nice going home, sitting down, or or sitting for a coffee in the staff room or something like that. I'd be like,
I could get away with it.
I'm pooped.
I could get away with it if I stayed in the workplace, but I agree. But if I went home and had the coffee, sat on the couch, game over. Like you say, I know you managed to get away for a week.
Yeah, I get with 2.5 hours, and I'll go home for an hour's sleep, but set by alarms, and many of them.
Are you one of those?
Aye. It's 3 showers a day if I want a split game. One before I go to work. After my snooze, then one when I get home for work.
Have you ever not been for a shower after working?
Yes.
And
I've went
honestly,
out on the set.
Yeah, many a time. But I feel like if you don't shower after a really sweaty day, like you go to bed and like you can smell yourself. Like it's not even sweat; it's like all the food, the kitchen, grease, and everything. You can smell it all, and you're lying there, and you're like, do you know when it's been a really hot day, like it has the past few days, and you go to bed,
it's running up,
and you're all like sticky, and you can't sleep because you're sticky, and it's like it's just like. It's horrible.
I'm getting fried in bed.
You need to go for a shower. Like you do. Right?
Another topic we will talk about off podcast because it will not be appropriate. The stickiness of the.
How long have we been going for, Ryan?
We have been going for an hour and 8 minutes.
Oh, that's actually not too bad.
That's all right.
That's not bad. Well, yeah, I mean, I've asked quite a lot of questions. Ryan, do you have anything you'd like to ask our gentlemen?
There we go. I did write down what I've got listed under emergency questions in case you turn around to me like 5 minutes in.
Fine.
So I've got, well, pretty much for both of you. What's the most stressful moment you've had in chefing? Like, obviously, Logan, John said you're quite like calm under pressure and that, but like everyone has a breaking point, I'd imagine. And Paul, I would imagine your breaking point gets tested pretty much daily.
Yeah, well, about every 20 minutes.
Well, that's because we need to explain on that one for Paul's one, because unfortunately Paul's staffing, we won't name people, but unfortunately Paul's staff keep pulling out on him and either telling him that, you know, the old dad thing, he went to go get a scratch card and never came back. That's been happening with his staff.
Exactly what happened. Nice, so it's pretty much you're a lone wolf.
Me and the head chef Rob, who's a spot on guy. He's
just smashing out together, like
we're just doing it. You know, we'll have to.
Yeah, so that's it. You just have to. You have to do it, don't you? And you manage to do it somehow. You come in the morning, and you look at the prep list, and you're like, oh no, we're never gonna get that done. And then like, you get it done like 5 minutes before service, and you're like,
woo!
nice, and you're like high-fiving each other.
Oh, dude, my one like, yeah!
Oh, no, sorry, a wee elbow.
A wee COVID.
So go on then, what has been your most stressful day, as Ryan was asking?
As you say, like, I wouldn't say I've had many breaking points. I feel like when I worked at the Bothy before, like, quite often I was on, like, a shift by myself. For a while, it was just me and the head chef. And it was really hard work. Like, if one of us needed a day off, like, well,
yeah, I understand.
We had to take days off. You know what I mean?
That's it.
Like, or you'll crack. You know what I mean? But like, if the head chef had a day off, I'd be in by myself with the KP, and they'd help prep, but they couldn't help cook. And it was, I don't know, I can't remember what seater restaurant it was, 70, 80 seater, and you're cooking by yourself, and it's pretty nice food.
It's a lot to do.
And like, probably pretty much every day, like
just every day.
Every day I would have like a massive strop and storm about for a little while, and then after I'd be like, holy shit, like I actually managed it. Like, and you get, it's weird because
is it more so because you're doubting yourself in those moments?
I just feel like, yeah, you get a bit busy and you don't think you're going to be able to do all the checks that are on or whatever, but then you're hating it during it, but after it you sit down and you're like,
such a buzz, isn't it?
You're like, honestly,
such a
and I want to speak about that buzz as well, like, because like I feel like
the cooking high.
Yeah, like
that's why I do.
I don't really think there's much else like it, and I also feel like that's why there's a problem in the industry with substance abuse.
Oh yeah,
because
that's a fair point. Yeah,
it's a bit like a rock star, because like a rock star on stage gets this buzz. And
he chases it.
They come off stage and they want that same buzz.
Oh yeah, they get it from somewhere.
It sounds really silly. We're not rock stars. No, we're rock stars of a kitchen. But like, yeah, I feel like that's why there is an issue with substance abuse in many ways in the kitchen.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Well,
especially like you say, when you're doing like 15-hour shifts, you need
something, like a wee coffee's and egg and a you know what I mean? I bought 4 tins of Monster yesterday.
Yeah.
Then that's I turned myself inside out with one fart.
You go home. you go home. You can't sleep. You need something to like chill you out. And a lot of these substances that I'm speaking about probably won't. But drinking, you know what I mean? Like having a couple of beers chills you out and will help you sleep. And that sounds quite like.
Yeah. I don't know.
What's the word I'm looking for? I don't really know the word I'm looking for. Like quite addictiveness.
It's an easy routine to fall into. Yeah, definitely.
Like, but like it's the only way you can chill out. Like I couldn't go home and sit and read a book in bed. Like,
no, I can't do that stuff.
Like
either.
if I've had a really busy
spans
day, go home and have a few beers, chill out, and you're gonna feel hungover no matter what. If you work a long shift, you wake up feeling chef hungover in the morning. Anyway, like because you're dehydrated,
weak and tired. Yeah,
like, I think the chef tattoos.
Yeah.
Not actual tattoos, just scars.
Yeah.
Burns.
That's it.
So yeah, I would say quite a lot of days at the Bothy when I was working by myself during it, but then after it you'd be like, whoa, that was amazing. I can't believe I've done it. And there's been the occasional time at Gordonston where things haven't been getting done or things haven't been moving the way I would like them to, and it's been made foolproof. Is when I've not even snapped, because I don't really feel like a snap.
No, you don't.
I've raised my voice.
That's the moment I'm on about. When that happened, everyone's like,
there's been there's been a few times where people have been like, whoa, because I don't do it. Yeah. It's more effective when I do it.
So rare.
It's so rare. People are like, holy moly. Logan actually
now
just
I know
that.
Now I know that annoys you. I'm not going to do it again.
It goes dead quiet. And you're like,
I'm the same. I don't, not anymore. I don't raise my voice properly in the kitchen. See, I think it achieves nothing.
It doesn't.
Then when you've got
people don't respond well to it if you do it consistently, right? Because then they think that's your personality rather than just like it being a unique thing of we need to pick up the pace or something like that.
That's it. But if it's just dull and informative. So
dull and informative.
You have annoyed me.
I feel like that's my fall down. Like I feel like sometimes like I can be too jokey. And sometimes people don't know when I'm being serious, and I think I need to not stop that, but I need to kind of know when to and when not to.
Because
like
it's certain people though, really, isn't it? Some people
100%.
who don't really know your sense of humour.
I would say
for
the
me,
younger ones.
I was doing it with you for a while as well. I was like, wait, Jack, you want me? You're like, no. I was, oh, you bugger. I'm sitting there getting ready to do the worst job known to man, and he's like, no, I'm joking. I'm like, oh. Okay.
Well, the youngins, they think, you're sort of taking the piss. I went, oh, but you're trying to be serious. I kind of just laughing it off and walking away. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Come here.
You wee torag.
We need a one-way conversation.
I just think it's lack of respect, isn't it?
That's it. It's a snowflake nation, isn't it?
It's not just that. I reckon it's a lot. Some people who obviously aren't doing your jobs, they don't fully understand everything that's going. Obviously, they're not going to, and they don't need to know. You know, it's not their job to know. The more that they know, the more they're probably going to get in your way. But you need them to do what they know, which is their job, right? So I've totally lost myself where I was going with that one as well. But yeah.
I also think, like, this is going to sound really bad, but like a lot of people in the industry, chef-wise, well, more front of house-wise, aren't doing it because they want to do it. They're doing it because it's a job that will give them money, and they can do it as a summer job before they go to uni or whatever. Yeah. Like, some people want to do front of house, or
that's like their passion.
Be a kitchen porter as their passion. But like, it annoys me because I don't think people respect that we've chose this as our career.
Yeah, exactly.
And like,
they just want to come in and mess
and
around.
they just want to come in and have a, like, I don't know, like I
have a 2-hour conversation with their pals in the middle of the kitchen, and
some
you're
people
like,
think it's a summer camp. Like, it's like, no, this is my job. This is what I have chosen to do. If you don't want to be here, if this isn't what you want to do.
So no, my favourite place in the kitchen is in the pot wash. I love it. It's just calm-ish.
Nah.
I don't mind pot wash either, but if I was doing it all the time.
I love it.
I don't mind doing it. Everyone knows me in the kitchen there. I don't mind going down the pot wash and doing it for a bit, but I get a bit salty when I'm there for more than 2 days on the trot.
That can happen quite often. Someone gets put down there
every day.
A month.
But I turn around and I'm literally just like, no.
Things just get thrown at you as well. It's not as if like,
oh no, I'd always respect your pot washer.
Yeah.
Always.
I do. And I try and empty trays and stuff like that, but I feel like some people can just...
Oh yeah, there's a few in there. We know them. We'll sort them out.
Connor. Connor. He's up at Silver Sands.
Yeah, Connor from our kitchen.
Yeah, he's
Connor from Duffus.
Yeah, he did tell me in the kitchen.
Yeah, I was doing the dishes. I did ask him, do you fancy learning a wee bit of cooking? I'm like, no, I'm going to.
Do you know story about him, Connor? If you're listening, sorry, he was vegetarian for a few years.
Yeah, he told me about that. Yeah,
and he tried his first bit of chicken at work and choked. And Jamie, our boss, had to do the Heimlich remover.
Oh God!
Is that what it's called?
The Heimlich. Yeah.
He had his first ever bit of meat in about 2 years.
And he almost died.
He almost died.
Must have been a sign. Mind you, he's back on the meat now anyway.
Yeah, he is.
Right, Ryan, what is your next emergency question, my friend?
Well, considering 2 out of the 4 you've already asked, I was writing them down. I was literally in the middle of writing one down as you asked it, and I just kind of like scratched it. So, well, the last one I have is, do you think how important is food and cuisines to like affect the local culture of a place? Like we were kind of mentioning that a little bit earlier on in the episode, and I think having listened to, especially when we were talking about the restaurants and where you would have it in that, I noticed Seaside, Harbour is very kind of localized in the kind of
especially
landscape.
For our areas up here. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, so I just want to know from both the chefs how important local cuisines and that go towards like how people view local culture in their own area and stuff like that.
I understand what you mean, yeah, because if you start going to, say, if the beach bar was still here and you go up there and all of a sudden it's all New Zealand and from places that aren't within, aren't from here, you can be a bit like, it's not really local cuisine then, is it? It might be prepared in the local way, but the cuisine itself is not local. So you mean like when it's locally sourced and the effect that...
Well, yeah, obviously, you were talking about the fish and that earlier, right? And then, it's all sourced locally from fishmongers from, was it Bucky that we mentioned earlier and so forth. And, you know, even the vegetables have been made on a farm, probably locally from in Inverness and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I think I actually spoke to a chef the other day, and I've always been about as local as possible because that's what the bothy was about. Like everything was, well, most stuff was local. Like dried pasta, and that obviously wasn't from breaks and that. But we tried to keep it as local as possible. We would get fish from the harbour or fish from Bucky, which is local.
Anything that's locally sourced.
Our butcher was Banff.
Oh, nice.
We occasionally got fresh game in from a gamekeeper.
Yeah. Brilliant.
But like, I spoke to a chef the other day, and it was the chef I used to work with at the Bothy when we'd done all these things, and he said, like, as much as local is nice, it doesn't mean it's the best.
That's
like,
true. Yeah.
So like, a restaurant might all be about local produce, not so much cuisine, but local produce, but it might not be the best. So why do you have to tie yourself to, as much as it's helping your local economy?
I think that's what the choice is.
Yeah,
do you
it's
want
like
to
you're helping
be
your
part
local
of your
economy,
community
but
or
it's not the best produce.
So
It might not be the best.
See, I would rather.
That's a good shout. That
I would rather have the better quality of food for the customers than
take a knock on quality of food.
take
Basically.
a knock on quality. Yeah, take a knock on
Well,
quality.
I was always local before.
As much as I
and
like it and try
It's
to.
it's funny
Yeah.
But
because he was the chef I worked with. He was probably the one who's inspired me the most. Sean, Paul, and Andy Fife, and we were all about local.
Yeah.
But then he was the one who said to me, like,
Local's not always best.
local. I've actually came to realize local is not always the best. It might be. You need to try it.
You got
So
it, yeah, I suppose.
if you
Like-
don't try it, you don't know.
Like,
So,
but it's not always going to be the best, and you want the best produce for your customers because they're going to be paying for it.
Would you say that stating like, on your restaurant or with your food that it is all like locally sourced and all of that, do you reckon that's more of an attraction to like customers in the areas though?
Yeah, 100%.
Normally when someone starts telling you, oh, we serve, this is locally caught here, that is normally a very big selling point,
Local
is it?
langoustines or like
Yeah.
Murray Firth
Yeah.
lobster or whatever. Yeah,
Because
people
it
are
kind
gonna
of
look at
goes to
that
show in that the restaurant is, they're not just doing it the cheap and easy way where they're just buying it and someone's taking it in. They've contacted someone to be like, right, we want to source this from you, and then the effort's gone in there. It's a nice thing to know.
Yeah.
I mean, when you go in, it's this is all local. I get where you're meaning, where sometimes you are completely right. It is not the best. I could eat like a carrot from Spain. It's going to taste better than a Scottish carrot. Unfortunately, these things happen.
the prices as well. Again, Beach Bar keep piping on about it, but we were getting Australian steaks.
Oh, nice. I've actually got kangaroo steak in my fridge.
Just to touch on that briefly, sorry to interrupt. What do you think about the? I feel like I'm on a bit of an MP's committee asking this question, but there's a big trade deal that's just happened in retort to Brexit with the meat now coming from Australia, where most of the meat into the UK is going to be. Well, there's a lot more meat going to be traded between Australia and the United Kingdom. I was just wondering, like, the thoughts on that, because apparently they don't have the same kind of health and safety guidelines when it comes to like.
They are very, very strict though with their borders.
Well, I think it's more they use more like antibiotics and stuff like that in the meat, and we're kind of a bit more like.
We don't want them.
Well,
modified.
it just doesn't meet our regulatory checks. Apparently, I was just thought I just heard Australian beef, and I was like, we'll go a bit topical.
I prefer it to. I remember getting the ribeyes, sirloins, and rumps in. It was an
No,
Australian.
I've never tried it.
And it was £1.20 a kilo cheaper, and I preferred it to be honest. But
Yeah.
See going to Australia and seeing that poor cows. Honestly, like
I've never been to Australia.
I've been lucky enough to be. I've been a few times with the family, and they're so skinny, and there's no like. I was in quite hot places in Australia, so like maybe further south where it's a bit cooler, they've got the
got a bit of weight.
Honestly, like skeletons, like but
Skelecow.
Yeah, like speaking about all these, is it like vaccines and that?
It's more like antibiotics. Just funnily enough, like if I'm sure we've all had antibiotics for like an infection or something like that. Yeah. That absolutely drains your body of all bacteria that's in it, because basically antibiotics is basically like all the bacteria in your body's getting killed, whether it's good or bad. So it's kind of like a.
That's what Stella does.
Founded by the same person, but no, that's misinformation. But like when you have, like, for example, a chest infection and it's just not getting better, like they will use antibiotics as like a last resort because they just know it's going to like kind of clear everything out. Yeah. It's like literally like a, almost like
it's like a flush for your system.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm doing the plunger. Like a
flush.
It's like when we were part of the EU, there was certain laws to do with food, and now that we're out, like supposedly
it's the Wild West
we're going to start pumping chlorine into chicken and stuff like that. I mean, like,
I'm worried about that.
100%. Like, things like that should not be in food.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I get pumping water in it to make it look bigger or whatever. Yeah. Well, I don't get that. But
still shouldn't do it.
It's not harmful water.
But it's not harmful. It's just water.
Do you know the worst supermarket I found that in was actually Sainsbury's.
Really?
Out of them all, and I mean, I went and bought only one same type of chicken each time. Chicken thighs. I love chicken on the bone. I love chicken on the bone, right? So I always buy chicken thighs, and I told you about this. Always put sriracha sauce on the top of it. Ooh, salad and chips, and yes, so good. It's so good. But I remember taking these chicken thighs home, and I cooked them in the pan, and I was actually like opened it up, and I went, I'm pretty sure I've just like lost 3 of my chicken. Oh, I haven't lost them. They've just shrunk down to literally like half of the pan. I was like, wow. But I've bought from Asda, I've bought from the Co-op, I've bought from Tesco, Aldi, Lidl, all of them. Sainsbury's is the worst. It was swimming. I had like a bloody pool in my pan. I was like,
you have a pool in your pan quite a lot, John.
With corn. Anything relatively chicken related.
Yeah, but no, it's chicken thigh, or breast and thigh. We use it at work for the chicken tikka, and see me get a wee bit of thigh, like, that's a wee surprise.
we actually had chicken drummers for tea tonight.
Oh, no,
I've not had chicken drumsticks in so long, but honestly, amazing. Like, literally, you could just put a bit of salt and pepper and olive oil on it, pop it in the oven, and bang, it'd be amazing. But I put some spices and that on it, and it was just,
I love spices, man.
Sumac. Bit of sumac. Have you ever tried sumac?
I've not tried sumac.
Do you know Monster Munch?
Yeah.
Yes.
Not the pickled onion ones. What's the other flavour?
Oh, the beef. Fiery one?
The fiery hot? I think it could be the smell. Sumac smells like the smell of the fiery.
The hot ones.
I'm okay with
it's like a...
I'm down with that.
Zesty sort of...
Just kind of like a floral spice.
It's paprika-y, zesty sort of smell. It's amazing.
I like paprika. And zest is quite a strong smell anyway.
I like a bit of hot smoked paprika.
Yeah? Good bit of hot sauce. That's what I like. Good bit of hot sauce.
I'm not very good with spices and whatnot, and
my face literally portrays the fact that I hate anything with a spice because it just pours. And everyone's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm totally fine. I will sit there and I'll eat, but I am pouring.
I'm just having a leak.
Yeah, I may not look like I'm enjoying it, but I actually do. I enjoy spice. It's very strange.
I like to pretend I like spicy food, but my missus is always like, Logan, you can't handle it, can you? And I'm like, no, get the towel.
As I say, I take it. Maybe I might even push myself to my limits and have a madras.
I like a madras.
I do.
Hottest I've ever had. I have tried a fowl.
I've taken them off menus.
Well, I'm not surprised. So I got one bit of meat on my fork, and I shoved it in my gob, and I just thought I need to just go for this, just give it a shot. Because I'd eaten a vindaloo like the night before, and I thought, that wasn't actually as bad as I thought. Because over the stage of this week, I went up from like your normal like tikka, and then went to a madras, and I was like, that was a wee bit spicy. I'll go for the next one. I went vindaloo. I was like, I'll try the one that everyone goes mad about, the fowl. I've never acted like a child so much in my life. I was like, trying to like push it out my mouth so fast, and obviously I managed to swallow one bit, and it all started burning as soon as it hit the throat, and I was it's like inhaling burning gas. I was like, oh my gosh, full on like actually dying. Had to like just close it, bin it because I couldn't pretend. I can't pretend to eat that.
Oh.
I was like,
That's
no
only
way.
ever happened to me once. And during the first lockdown, we'd got a takeaway, and I'm sure, I can't remember if it was a Vindaloo, a jalfrezi. It's quite a hot one.
You got a lot of tomato in Jalfrezi. Oh no, that's Rogan Josh I'm thinking of.
I think there's tomato in jalfrezi as well.
Not as much as Rogan Josh is shed loads, isn't it?
But I saw this thing, and Bethany was watching me, and I honestly thought it was a pepper, a green pepper, and I put it on my fork, put it in my mouth, and it was honestly unbearably hot. Like she thought I was just trying to show off.
You just thought it was a pepper.
But honestly, I thought it was a pepper, and I've never felt burning like that. I could feel it in my stomach, like almost instantly. Even though it doesn't go to your stomach instantly, I could feel like a burning pain here.
I don't understand why people.
It's halfway around your digestive tract, and it's like
Honestly, it's like,
I don't understand why people. I know people enjoy like their spicier foods and whatnot,
but when they make it to the point when you spit up blood, too far.
Why would you like to go and eat something that's going to turn you inside out the next day? You know what I mean? It's brutal. It's like the Reaper Burger, like.
The
Reaper Burger.
Well, I was actually about to bring it up.
See, I had to try it. Well, because I made it.
You were wearing a face mask when cooking that before face masks were cool.
Yeah,
And mandated for everyday
Reaper
life.
chili powder, and
this is when he was at the beach bar, and it was his
did
new
you have that goggles
invention.
and that on?
well, I should have, but
Didn't.
I didn't think it was fair on the rest of the staff in the kitchen, so I didn't wear any face coverings. I have like a breathable mask and stuff because they didn't. So.
Went down with the ship, didn't you?
Yep, I am going to suffer with the rest of my staff.
I remember the
It's brutal.
the guy that originally took the bite out of it. Like I said, he went home pretty much instantly. After complaining that he never got salad with his food, which I still maintain no one's ever said in history apart from that one time. You don't hear people at restaurants go, "Oh, where's my salad at?" Do you know what I mean? Like, it
where's
just
my
doesn't.
presentation salad at?
So where's my garnish?
So is it supposed to be a burger that you can eat, or is it just supposed to be like a?
Oh no,
It was supposed to be
edible. It was edible.
Well, he put cream cheese on it, but
I did.
the guy that I was with
just gonna
scraped it off and thought it would be a good idea.
Yeah.
But then someone else came along and took like a little chunk off of it, because obviously it was like a full burger, like there was a bite out of it. So he took the other side and took a bit out of it, and apparently it was like a chunk about the size of a rice grain, and he put it in his mouth, and apparently everywhere it had touched in his mouth he could like feel for like the next week.
Yeah, it was savage. It was a challenge. It was like a food challenge.
Did you have to do a disclaimer?
No.
You probably should have. The boy could feel his mouth for a week.
Probably, but we didn't. So
Only in certain parts though, only where the burger had touched.
Right, guys, I think
my fault. Good.
I think we're about done with the northeast corner food, didn't we?
Yeah,
Ryan, you
appears
got
so.
anything else? No.
No, all my questions.
Thank you very much for coming in, Logan. It's been
Thank
great
you.
having a chat, and thank you very much, Paul, as well, for helping us out
For turning
with
up.
a show. And I'll let you do the first outtake.
Oh yes. Stay fresh, cheese bags.
Take care, everyone, from the northeast corner.
Well, we'll see you later.
This podcast is also available on Google Podcasts, Breaker, Pocketcasts, RadioPublic, and Spotify.